Yeah, I think goals are important, you guys. And other than it being like a trend or a cliche, I think that goals are good because it helps you stay on focus. And it's a thing that keeps your mind and your thoughts and your actions more so positive or positivity than like the negative things. So for me personally, and I'm sure like everybody who has done goals or some type of vision board can attest that when they do write those goals down or place those pictures on their board, they are more accomplished, or they accomplish those goals a lot more. Like me and Chris, when we wrote our goals last year, I don't think it was like anything that we didn't accomplish. So it's just a powerful thing that as your mind think, that's how you will become.
Yeah, I really see all of those things. Like I can see it now, and I think that's the power of goals. You know, one of the things that as a goal setter, you have to really see the end, but you have to live in the present.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to be able to imagine what the end is like, but you got to live through what today looks like,
Yeah.
because you know, if you don't, you can really have a lot of conflicts with the steps that it takes to get to the end. Arian and I, we talked about our goal setting, and then just went into this just ridiculous argument because we had our mindset on so many different things. And so like having goals is very motivational when you channel it the right way. Like you said, when you choose to have a positive outlook, but it's very discouraging if you don't channel it the right way, because you'll be stuck in your imagination. I'm talking to myself as well, especially myself. You can get stuck in your imagination of what it was supposed to look like in step one. And then step one, just you get your legs taken from under you. It's like if you start a race and you trip right at the start. Like Reddy said, do you slip at go?
Yeah.
And it's like I lost. Like I don't even have. This is the most powerful step that I would have been able to come out the gate with, and I'm behind. And it's like, no, just because you're going to run through loopholes, or you know, you're going to experience all these different trials and tribulations, doesn't mean that you're not going to accomplish your goal. So I just want to encourage us all, you know, from step one, however it comes out. Tony, you get into school in that first class, you're like, bro, it's kicking my tail. That shouldn't affect graduation. You still gonna graduate, you know, but hey, you got to get through this hurdle right here. So I just want to encourage all of us to say, man, congratulations in advance. And I'll get into it later with a different quote, but like this is super exciting, man.
Yeah.
We're really onto something right here.
Honestly, I'm gonna say y'all are showing up speaking to me. I don't know if Terry feels it too, but just like not resenting the process of getting there. It's really difficult when you know that you're purposed and destined for more to look around you and not see it, and it's really hard to push through that, because I'm like, okay, Terrence is purposed and destined to no longer be working his 6 to 6 job. It ain't a 9 to 5, but 6 to 6 job. And I'm like, I'm over it. I'm ready right now. You know what I mean? But then not resenting the process because it is producing character, it's producing perseverance in us. And it's just really speaking to me right now. And so I just wanted to echo what you and Arian said as far as trust the process. Don't be resentful about the process. Enjoy where you're at right now. So for an example, Terrence said to me this week, he said, sometimes I think you get so caught up on the future that you don't enjoy where you at right now. At the beginning of the year and the end of last year, you was wanting to be where you're at right now.
Yeah.
Enjoy right now. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, that's, yeah.
No,
and,
yeah.
And it kind of, you know, it got me together. Oh Lord Jesus!
What is it?
I didn't hear.
Yeah.
Oh God! Listen, that's the term of endearment around here, I guess. So,
sorry, we got caught off guard.
But the thing is, that is so important. You can't be so focused on your future and so goal driven that you don't focus on what you've already accomplished and receive and enjoy what you've already accomplished. Like, we're making more money than we ever have been. However, it doesn't feel like that because I'm so focused on something else. You know what I mean? But I think that's just a check and saying, remember what God told you a long time ago, and now you're living in it right now. And there's other stuff that God revealed to you, but you're living in promises right now. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just something really important to remember. I thought that was just so good, and I'm so glad that y'all shared that. Go ahead, babe.
Yeah, I feel like it's I mean, I agree with you, and also with the analogy that Chris said, as far as when you compared it to like a race or something, like me, I went through like a lot of hardships, but I'm the type of person that always go through them and prevail from them. So I just want to relate to the people that it's important to, if you do fall, get back up. Because when you keep on falling or whatever, and you keep on getting back up, it's gonna feel way much better when you get to the end of that race.
That's real, yeah. KP?
Were you gonna say something? I was gonna say, like, that's kind of confirmation for us, because we were literally just having this conversation, I believe last night, about satisfaction. Are you satisfied where you are? And I remember, you know, when me and Tony were talking about it, I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever be satisfied. I remember even saying I cringe at the word like satisfied, because I'm always thinking about, you know, the next step, what's next, the next goal. And even like I was making a joke with Tony, I'm like, even if I do move up or if I move into another role, I'm still probably gonna be on Indeed. You know, we were joking about it, but it's probably true, you know. So I honestly, and I don't know if that's a good thing or not, you know, if I'll ever actually be, you know, satisfied, but it has to be something, of course, that I, you know, want to do. And when I have an idea or a goal or something that I want to do, I'm like, you know, tunnel vision on that. And then once it's done, once it's accomplished, okay, what's next? You know, what's the next thing that I need to do? And I don't know, like, is that a good thing? You know, like never really being satisfied where you are. That's important. You know, like you said, Rebecca, like you need to focus on the now. You need to be satisfied where you are now, but not so satisfied, I guess, to the point that you're being complacent. Yeah. I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know. I'm just being real. I'm just being transparent. What is that happy medium? Because I don't even think I have one. You know, what is the happy medium? You know, with being satisfied and, you know, wanting to elevate. Go ahead.
Double dutch. But no, Kanisha, that's real though, because again, like I spoke to that too. People, and not just me, not just you, not just Rebecca, we're so focused on the end. And I don't think it's anything wrong with wanting to, you know, have that goal that you accomplish and then you set your sights on higher goals. But I think, you know, us as being believers, I think the word that's in the Bible is being content. And I think we have such a negative connotation on that word. I think content in that meaning means look where you are, like with the wisdom where Terry gave Rebecca, see where you are and have comfort and peace in that. And I also think that if we keep on striving for what's best, you know, there's a good, acceptable, and perfect will of God. So I think that if we continue to be, content, if we continue to seek, you know, God's space and do things, you know, in his timing, I think that we will come around to where we need to be. So I think the happy medium is not being anxious about where we are not, but being at peace at where we are and just having a plan to keep working and keep bettering ourselves. Yeah. Progress is it, not perfection.
But you know what? I'll tell you this, and it's just really hitting for me right now, is that when you are living in what your goal was and what you believe God told you was going to be at right now, that is confirmation that you are in the will of God. Mm-hmm. You are in his will, you know, and God has been with you every step of the way. And I just think that's also affirming and reaffirming that I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's so important. But you know, the word says I've learned how to be content with a little, and I've learned how to be content with a whole lot. You know what I mean? And so as we continue to be good stewards over what is given to us, I believe that God will expand our territory, and he already has. Y'all, right. We're talking about some things that people in their 40s and 50s are just now talking about. You know what I'm saying? And we're in our early 30s, late 20s. So late 20. Like it ain't no more 20s.
Got that much more left.
Last leg.
I'm still 29.
You're on our last leg, y'all.
Everybody.
30 juniors. I think in response to what you were saying, KP, I think that, like you said, the real reward is the journey. It's not actually the reward. And so often we focus on the reward, and then that's why we got to go through our journey again. It's like, because we keep focusing on the end goal, the reward. Yeah. Whereas if we make the process, as my friend Conrado always says, if we make the process the reward, then that's the best thing you can do. Because and we actually, me and Conrado actually talked today, and he was saying that faith is the real. That's really the reward in all of it, to believe that you can do something on a higher level. And I think that's where complacency comes in, because now we don't need faith anymore. We don't need faith for what's already manifested. For some of y'all got 88 degrees. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need any more faith to go to school or to be certified in something. It's like, we already know we can do that. But you do need faith to be stronger in your marriage, or to be stronger as a parent, or to be stronger as a friend, because there are untapped things there. So I think, maybe from my opinion, KP, I think good is the enemy of great. So I think that when you think that you're doing good, you should assess and see, well, where can I be great? And then let that fuel your passions. For me, I'm kind of over the dramatic, like, grind mode of things, because I just recently got sick. And that was due to a lot of stress, and I was putting the reward in front of the lesson in the process. And so I was like, and so my revelation has been, you can have as much grind as you want to have, but if your grind is not rooted in faith, you know what I'm saying? If my work is not rooted in faith, then I'm missing a key component. And yes, I y'all know I'm a firm believer. I'll be the first one to be like, yeah, it's practical, you know what I'm saying? It's spiritual, but it's practical too. But it all comes together, and it helps. So I think that I challenge us, as we are accomplishing goals, I challenge us to figure out, wait, what else in this process can I be learning? What else in this process can I stop and kind of smell the roses? Because Rebecca, it's funny, so funny you said that. Y'all know I ramble, but I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna just throw it to whoever. But Rebecca, it's so funny you said that, because I literally remember last year when you were like, guys, I want to be this, and there was an alternative too. It was like, I want to be this. The only reason, like, this might happen, and now to do this or that, I don't want to, like, put all your business out there, but, to see it happen, and we celebrated it, but it was like, oh yeah, awesome. You know what I'm saying? And then that was it. And then you like, hey, I'm trying to get to there. And KP, for you, we were like, you was like, kind of
graduated with school.
Yeah.
And then now you're licensed.
Yeah, licensed. And that license thing was like, it felt like just a few months ago, but that wasn't no 2 week ago process. Like, or, you know what I'm saying? Or a month and a half ago process. That was like some time. So we really are doing it, y'all.
And when you talk about success, go ahead, Tony.
No, I was just going to piggyback on what you were saying. To feel like that and to be able to celebrate each other like that, that's because even though we saying it and we writing it down, like, as friends, we believe in it too. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we believe in each other and all the goals that we have set out for each other, and being able to say, oh, I got your back. Because even though we all married, but at sometimes I might need some advice from Terry, or I might need some advice from Chris, or even Arian or Rebecca. You know what I mean? Because I know that we all value each other, and we value each other friendship, and we all value each other marriage. Yeah. So of course we want to all see each other be great. That's all I want to say.
And then literally that's what I was just gonna piggyback on, Tony, was that just, y'all, this is what a successful friendship looks like. With 6 people. We all have different purpose and different destiny, different passions. But this is what it looks like when you are in a successful friendship, where you're able, like Terry said in a couple of videos ago, you can dream with one another. Yeah. And the dream is outlandish, and we will hold each other accountable and pray for one another. And we've seen it. Like, we can go down the road. I think we did it in our group chat maybe a couple weeks ago. We went down the road of what had happened this year. I think I took a licensure test. Chris took a licensure test. Kanisha took a licensure test. All of us passed and are doing stuff, right? Then Arian is in school, Terry's in school, Tony is starting in January. Like, y'all, and I do believe this also, is that it is very important to discern who are you connected to.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very important to discern who you're connected to. So as you move into 2021, think about who is connected to you and who you're connected to. There may need to be some disconnections that happen in 2021. And you might have really seen the manifestation of it in 2020 because ain't nobody checked up on you, everybody draining you or whatever, right? But 2021, go ahead and make the snip or plug in, depending on who it is. So I would encourage you also with your goals. We didn't talk about the spiritual goals because we got some, but I would encourage you to pray about and also to revise and review who you're connected to and who is connected to you. Because honestly, some people are blessed just because they're in the house or just because they're in the room.
Just because they friends with
Right,
you.
or just because they connected to you. They're blessed also because of you. But then there may be some curses that you're connected to too. So that's what I want to say. Chris, I saw your hand raised.
I think that we have meat on the bone for I think for older people who maybe who feel like their goals are expired.
Yeah.
And also for people who may feel, and you were really touching on this, so my hand raise was a little bit premature, so I apologize. But also for people who may not be in a relationship where they feel like this goal is all on me. So, I just wanted to, have somebody chime in to maybe, again, an older couple or an older individual who may feel like, man, like I just got the wisdom at this point. I don't got the energy. You know what I'm saying? But you're still a factor, right? And then for the person who feels like, hey, I don't have a spouse or I don't have the immediate support system. I think we can chime in on that before we finish the video. So
I got the old person. Who you got?
Oh, I was about to do the old
don't
person.
say old.
I was gonna
Whoa.
say the people who feel like they're older and their dreams are expired too.
Go ahead, sis.
We can both touch on it.
Yeah,
but I'll be quick.
Uh-oh. Go ahead, Rebecca, because I think they're frozen right now.
Dang. Okay. So I just wanted to encourage you, and they probably are talking right now. What if they're talking? Oh, y'all are there. Okay,
Sorry,
go ahead.
But no, I was just gonna say for those of people who feel like their time is expired, as long as you're still living, you still have time to reach those goals. You still have time to still put in work. And another thing, the last thing I will say about that is that I think this is the American type culture thing, but we need to learn how to pass the torch. So even if you are older and we feel like we do not have the energy, you have a child, you have siblings, you have mentees that you can teach them. If they're interested, you can teach them to carry that torch. And that's your legacy. If you're older and you never make that goal, you still have someone that you pass that on to that can fulfill that goal in this lifetime.
Solid.
Oh my God. Girl, I about ready to, I like to got up, run around 3 times and came back, okay? Because that is so, I see that a lot in the Black church. They feel like they have to hold on and be that, this, and then the third, but you can pass the torch. What I want to say to my seasoned folks out there who feel like your time is up, a prime example of your time not being expired is my mother. My mother is 62 years old, just now starting her doctorate degree in August. Okay, she's retired, y'all. She ain't going back to the classroom. She owns her own business. She's ready to retire, enjoy her time in Myrtle Beach. However, she knows that one of her desires in life was to get her doctorate. It ain't about whatever it's going to do for her professionally, but it is a goal that she has within herself. And so I would encourage you, if there are goals within yourself that may not be tied to anything temporal, but just who you are and what you believe in as a person, because she loves education, she loves learning, then you do that. You know what I'm saying? Who cares if you're 70 or 80 years old? I think I seen an article of a woman who was 80 plus getting her bachelor's. But that's because that was a lifelong dream and passion of hers. You know what I'm saying? So I would encourage you, whatever lights your fire, whatever you feel like you've always had that goal, you always had the desire to do it. As long as you have breath in your body, there's still a plan and a purpose for you. The purpose is over when you're dead and gone. But because you're still living, there's still a plan and a purpose for your life. And so I would encourage you just to go ahead and hold on to that. Just because you old don't mean there's no more plan and no more purpose. And also part of it, you say you 90 years old. It may be to enjoy the fruits of your labor, or 80 years old, whatever. I watched my grandmother live until she was 100 years old, and she was still living and thriving until she was 98. She only had a year and a half, close to 2 years of some mental health and health struggles, but she had 98 strong years.
Princess was
right?
short.
Okay, and so so I would encourage you. It's never too late, because the princess I knew, she had already lived 2 lifetimes before I met her. She was 80 years old when I was growing up. She lived 2 lifetimes before. You know what I'm saying? But just to know all the wisdom that she imparted on me, and some of the struggles and the trials and tribulations of why she did what she did. And even with my aunties as well, just talking about, okay, when stuff happened with Martin Luther King, you had a different, when he was assassinated, they had a different perspective. Now that he was assassinated, okay, what is it that I really should be doing, right? And so life has a way of just really shaping you and molding you, and you have so much wisdom. And guess what? The young adults want to hear it. The millennials want to hear it, okay? I'm sick and tired of being tied up with generation X and Y and Z. We are the millennials. We ain't out here going crazy. We still believe in the season 4.
Right.
We do. But since you guys didn't really just talk about, the singles, I think that we need to, give them some hope in all of this too. And I will say that this is the time to be selfish. It is. You have the time right now where you can do whatever you need to do without worrying about who's tied to you. Unless you have children, that's different. But of course, you have to make sure your children come first. But either way, this is the time to do what you need to do, what you want to do. If it's travel, if it's get another degree, if it's learn a new language, do that. Take the time to be able to do that. And also stop focusing on what other people are doing. I think that in this day and age, social media inflates a lot of things, okay? Nobody is putting on social media when they're upset, when they're mad, when they're down. Most people, I'm guilty, okay? I usually put on when we're having fun, or when we're, living good and all those things. So social media is a false sense of hope, in my opinion. So you have to also learn to stop comparing yourself to other people and other people's situation, and stay in your lane and focus on what you need to do. That's when you reach that peak. And then hopefully when you do meet someone, because listen, I really believe that everybody doesn't want to get married, okay? Everybody does not want to be married. And that if that's not your end goal, that's fine. That's up to you. But if you do decide that you want to be married and you want to have a spouse, you want to have a mate, make sure that you are fully secure in who you are before you get into a relationship with somebody else. I promise you, you really, are able to avoid a lot of pitfalls. Okay. If you are secure in who you are and know what your purpose is before you get into a relationship with somebody else. So take this time again to be selfish, to focus on yourself. Sorry, get the personal trainer, whatever it is that you want to do. Sorry, my throat. But do what you want to do in this time period. The world is your oyster at this time, so utilize it.
I would say it's also important for singles to connect, like what we said earlier, connect with people with the same same as you, with the same thing as you. So like, even if we wasn't married, I feel like a good connection is Chris and Tony, because like I feel like they got the same mind frame as me that I can learn from. Even if I'm not going through something, I could look at their situation if they was going through something and see how they bounce back from it. Mm-hmm. And then I forgot what I was gonna say. I lost my train of thought.
That was the point.
Until I get it back.
That's a good word.
Yeah, that's lit.
Yeah.
We all we in sync. That's literally what I was gonna say. I think this is the time. If you single, this is the time. Forget the relationship point. If that's not where you are right now, get relationships with friends.
Yes.
Establish some solid friendships. And KP said like-minded. I say go for people who you think are better than you. You know what I mean? And mix that bad boy up. Go sit up under a mentor. Sit up under somebody who is, who has accomplished those things. And they're like, you trying to do what? Oh, I done did that 3 times over. Really establish solid relationships with people that you can be honest and transparent with. So that way, when you do find a relationship or one finds you, because you typically find love when you ain't looking for it.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? And it's better that way because it's going to be something authentic and you don't got to force yourself to like this person just because you feel like you're running out of time.
Right.
Get into some good friendships and some good relationships with people. And that's going to drive you. And it's going to also make you more attractive because people will see that you know how to handle relationships.
Yes.
I remember what I was going to say now.
Just a little commercial break for you.
Right. I was going to say also, just when you set that goal, live in the good and the bad, because you can learn from both, especially the bad. Because for me, with goals, I don't want it if it's just easy, if I could just attain it easily, because I feel like, let's say, with your analogy, Chris, let's say you got a football team or whatever team you is that's undefeated, and you make it all the way to the championship just to lose. Like, you did all that work and got sweep through everything, got through everything easy just to get to the main part where you wanted to get, and then you failed at that. So I'd rather go through my trials through each stage, and when I get to the end, it's nothing that I haven't seen for my goal to attain it.
Bro, did y'all hear what he just now said is go through your season the way you're supposed to go through your season so you don't get all the way to the championship and lose. Like, don't try to force the bars, right? Don't try to force it. It's in season. Take your lesson. And Terry, bro, that goes right back into the whole, really the concept of when you talk about goals. It's really about the process. It's not about the end goal, because you can front and force the end goal to happen. Like if I was like, well, I just wanted to get a bag. Okay, you can get a bag. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get a bag through insurance, like it's happened. I done got into a car accident and they had to pay me a bag. But guess what? I didn't really learn what it was like to have to save up money through the process. So guess what? I'm gonna get to the championship when it comes to having to save now, but I won't have any real strategy. So I'm gonna lose when it comes to that part. Like, just take your lessons when you're supposed to, how you're supposed to. Don't try to like shortcut out of it. Go through what you got to go through, because then when you get to that grand and glorious championship, you won't be the team that got their head down when it's all said and done. You know what it is to win. Like Rebecca said, I've had much, I've had little, and all of it, I've learned to have what I have and be cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Man, look, I feel like we gave them enough, man. What else they want?
No, that's it. It's so many, and then we all still remain humble too, and keep that God first at the end of the day. Yeah. So I think that was just this whole video has just been amazing. You know, it just shows our friendship, how much we support one another, we pray for one another, and we encourage one another. And this is why our bond is so tight. Like, I mean, that's man, we really blessed. We really blessed. So just shout out to us for real.
And I was gonna say that I thought you was gonna take us all the way home, bro. But
I was ready.
I didn't want to go outside my assignment.
Right, but no, I was.
Oh, listen.
That's a word.
Listen.
You know what?
I thought you was about to walk away, bro. I was like, yeah, Tone. Yeah, I was gonna hit the stop button.
That's the word. Somebody needs to write that down in your handy dandy notebook. Write it down, Chris. That's a word. That's a whole nother video. Lord have mercy.
Don't be outside of your assignment.
Woo! I was gonna say, but closing that out, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to the Marriage Plug today. We did not give a TMP goal, but I would say our goal for next year is to continue to reach people. Please comment, like, share, subscribe, and give us input on what you think we can do better, what you want to see, because that's our goal, to really reach people. Of course, we want to make this a prosperous thing for all of us, but we really want to give wisdom and help somebody on this journey to marriage, or just to being a good individual who has meaningful relationships. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love you guys, and as usual,
TMP.
Hold it down.